Good evening, students. I welcome you all to the lecture of Advanced 3G and 4G Wireless Communication. The topic for today is ultra wideband. It is pertaining to your chapter number 5 from your syllabus. So, when we talk about ultra wideband, first we have to draw a demarcation between a wideband and an ultra wideband. So, when we talk about a ultra wideband, there are two very important terms, that is fractional bandwidth or a simple bandwidth. When the value of bandwidth is greater than 500 megahertz, we generally take it as a wideband. Now again, there is a term that is called as fractional bandwidth. Fractional bandwidth is equal to higher frequency minus lower frequency divided by the center frequency, that is FC. So if the value of fractional bandwidth is greater than or equal to zero point 0.2 or the value of bandwidth is greater than 500 megahertz, it is generally termed as ultra wideband. There are many features which are generally attributed to ultra wideband. So when we talk about ultra wideband, there is FCC mask. What is FCC? FCC is Federal Communication Commission. It has assigned a several masks so that if a spectrum can be used with the different power densities. For a ultra wideband, FCC sets a level of minus 41.3 dBm per megahertz. I mind you that it is a very low power level, so that there won't be any sort of interference with the existing communication system. So what is the need of this gap, this band? Because we want overlapping of spectrum in case of ultra wideband. So there are basically two masks, that is for indoor range and a outdoor range. It is pertinent to mention that for a outdoor range within a frequency that is 1.6 to 3.1 gigahertz, the outdition radiation limit should be 10 dB lower than the indoor in order to avoid any overlapping of communication signals with the regular communication network. So when we talk about ultra wideband, it is basically a narrow pulse and it is of a shape of a Gaussian pulse. So we are using this equation from a Gaussian approximation method or Gaussian pulse, that is Pt is equal to A, which is the amplitude, and sigma is basically the spread of Gaussian pulse. So when we talk about a ultra wideband system, it has some features. The main features are: it is a low duty cycle ultra wideband pulse which is of very short duration. You will be astonished to know that it has a low duty cycle that is less than 0.5%, and it has the ability to share spectrum. So how it is able to share the spectrum? Now see, when the power level, amplitude of a power is such a low that it is less than minus 41.3 dBm per megahertz, then, and it is having a very broad band which is greater than 500, that I have already told you that it is greater than 500 megahertz, then only it is being recognized as ultra wideband. So it is an ultra wideband signal which is a composition of short pulse duration and having amplitude which is less than minus 41.3 dBm per megahertz, and it is able to overlap with the existing spectrum. So very important concept that is called as large channel capacity. When we take this channel capacity equation, it is pertinent and it is very much clear that capacity is directly linked to bandwidth. So if we increase the bandwidth, we can increase the capacity. Now in case of ultra wideband, there is a spread from 3.1 to 10.6 gigahertz. It can be seen from this point, from 3.1 to 10.6 gigahertz, and there is overlapping of spectrum. Now this particular wavelength, this particular band is used for some application, but since the power level is very low, we can overlap this spectrum for other use, that is ultra wideband, for a specific indoor application. So we can use ultra wideband for a specific indoor application, taking into cognizance a specific amplitude of a lower level. So since we are using a very large bandwidth, so automatically the capacity level we can able to achieve Gbps data rate can be achieved in case of ultra wideband signal. So what is the future of ultra wideband? We can directly configure a computer with a HDTV connection of a TV. The ultra wideband is for short range and it can achieve a high data rate. It can be used as a personal area network, WPAN. So when we take a typical transmitter diagram for a narrow band, it consists of mixer, it consists of power amplifier. But in case of ultra wideband, we need not to use any carrier, we need not to use any sort of mixer or an amplifier. Similar is the case with a receiver section. So we can just summarize that for a transceiver of ultra wideband, It is using a low powered pulses. There is no carrier usage, no mixer, no local oscillator, no carrier recovery at the receiver. So this is all about the basic of a ultra wideband. I hope you will like this lecture. Thank you very much.